All right, y'all. So listen, I've been wanting to react to the video for quite some time. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. She's talking to Jermaine Dupri about his like about how his election tapes, which were all horrible. He eventually tries to like walk him back, but it doesn't matter. She only's walking him back because women like her just ate him alive.
Dear Jermaine Dupri and any other that got to say about Kamala Harris running for president.
Wow.
I already put this on Twitter, but sometimes tone is misinterpreted with the written word, so I thought I'd say it. Now, Jermaine posted this rambling nonsense on social media yesterday, and I'm not really sure what this man who cheated on Janet Jackson is asking, but I think the answer.
Jesus Christ. Ma'am. Wow. What? Wow. You've been at his neck the entire time. Like you take a break to give us some information and then wham, back on his neck, back on his neck. Jesus.
Answer is you don't understand how the system works, Jermaine. There are a lot of things people think presidents can do without congressional approval, but people are wrong. Congress has a lot of power. Now, Jermaine, I know you are a successful businessman and CEO, but our government is not a business. It runs on a constitution. And to make laws or spend federal money in this country, you have to follow a set of rules that are enforced by Robert's rules.
Right.
And people who belong to D9 organizations or basically any organization that has a constitution and bylaws, they are very familiar with Robert's rules. But people who own record labels and ice cream companies are not. Additionally, our government is.
Wait a minute. Jermaine Dupri owns an ice cream company? No, there's this is y'all. This man owns vegan ice cream. And it's sold in Walmart. What flavors does he have? Key lime pie, strawberry sweetheart, welcome to Atlanta peach cobbler, apple butter, chocolate my way, and 404 cookies and cream. Wow. Wow. Let's see. I'm not going to dox myself, so I'm going to use somebody else's zip code. So 2 stores. Okay. Okay. And they're both Walmart. All right. Okay. Crazy. Crazy. She's cooking this, man. This is insane. Dang.
Run on the honor system. Everybody is supposed to respect and follow and enforce the rules. Republicans do not do this. They exploit the rules so that they can cheat and get rule changes in their favor. They create problems to look like they are the only ones that can solve problems. Okay. And if the GOP gets power back this November, they are going to change the rules of how our government works so that they can remain in power permanently. That is why Trump packed the federal courts during his term. That is why he packed the Supreme Court, so that they could cheat legally. And there is no boss or CEO that can stop them. Now, we, and when I say we, I mean women, I mean indigenous people, I mean Black people, I mean Latinos, I mean Asians, I mean the LGBTQIA community, immigrants. We weren't supposed to be included in this government.
The fact that she had to put, like, I don't know if you guys caught that, right? But like back here, wait, hold on. Where is it at? Come on. Yeah, she had to put like poor whites down there. Like that's I think that's a lost aspect on people when it comes to like our government, is that this is mostly classism under the veil of racism. And what do I mean by that? I mean that racism is to distract you from the true problem and the true game that is classism. They don't care about us poor people. They do not. Taxing rich people is the only way to actually run the government effectively. Why? Because they have all the money. They have it all. If they have 99% of the wealth, 99%, yes, you have to tax them. You have to. You have to. Now, if they want to play whatever reindeer games they have to play to finesse and get out of, you know what I'm saying, paying even more, like so they can pay just a little bit less, sure. But they gotta pay. Like, even if I got to the point where I was making that type of money, like somebody taking a good portion of it, I hope I'm gonna clarify it this way. I hope I don't ever get to the place where I forget where I came from and I forget that the amount of money that I have is just fine and I can live a good life off of this amount of money. That I don't need to have $1 billion. You don't need to have $1 billion. You don't need to have it. Is it nice? Yes, the fuck it is. And anybody that tells you you can't solve your problems with money is lying. However, getting money is good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Getting money, like it's really good. It allows you to have like mobility and move around and help other people. You know, you can actually help people if you got the bag yourself, if you're financially responsible yourself. So yeah, get after it. Get after it. Make yourself better. Make yourself matter. But don't ever forget when you're being okay, when you're thinking about race and you're thinking about sex and gender and all these other distractions, because who you fuck does not matter in the grand scheme of things. It don't. Nobody cares. I'm not going home with you. I don't give a fuck. If you want to wear a dress again, what the fuck that got to do with me? If you want to chop your dick or make your stuff into a dick, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Nothing. Nothing. It don't change my bottom line. So guess what? I don't care. I don't care. What I want society to do and what I want us to focus on is being better people. That's it. That's all. Just being better people.
Asians, I mean the LGBTQIA community, immigrants, we weren't supposed to be included in this government the way
That's
our
facts.
Constitution was originally written. That's
facts.
why they had to write amendments. And everybody is supposed to respect and follow the amendments. And the amendments are what give all those marginalized groups rights. So how do you discriminate against people that the amendments protect? You make new laws that defy the amendments. Who is going to make you stop making new laws? The people you discriminate against, they are poor and they cannot afford to take you to court. And court is the only way we can have laws changed in this country. And even if we did take these fools to court, the federal appeals courts have been packed with MAGA judges by Trump. So is the Supreme Court. So even if you are logically and morally wrong for changing the laws, you will be upheld as legally right in this country with the current government that we have.
That's insane.
Trump and the GOP are
so
trying to legally.
So I'll give you guys a great example of this. I'll give you guys a great example of this, right? When you think about a state, right? When you think about a state, right? And I'm trying to really like think of a state that has really like what is it? Was it Georgia? Was it Georgia in like their elections maps, for instance? Or I'm trying to think of a more localized issue that you guys would know about. Most casuals would know. Let's think about. I'll just give a wild example, right? So let's say you have voting rights, right? And you're supposed to be allowed to vote. Well, restrictions that different places have added is that one, like you don't what am I thinking about? When you go, you have to register to vote, right? You have to register to vote. Registering to vote for and y'all, some people might kill me for this. I think registering to vote is absolutely fucking asinine. You're an American citizen. If it's your right and you have the right to vote, you should be able to anywhere in the United States cast your vote. Federally, federally, federally. Anywhere in the United States, you should be able to cast your vote. Period. Dot. You should be able to go somewhere and get just a federal election thing sheet, just for federal, and be able to vote federally. Period. Dot. Period. Dot. Period. Dot. And when I say vote federally, I mean for the president of the United States, you should be able to get a ballot that's literally that small, and it's either or. You should be able to anywhere, as long as you're a registered American citizen. Flat out, we need across the board, like federally standardized voting things. Then you can get into, you know what I'm saying? And this is where I kind of get the part, this is where I get the part of registering. The state stuff, the local stuff, like, yes, you need to be like by that district or whatever, but to federally vote, I think anything that gets in the way of you being able to vote for the president of the United States is asinine as an American. Is asinine. You as an American citizen should be allowed to vote for that. Period. Dot. Period. Dot. I think, and I also think that, because I'll be remiss if I didn't plug this here, I think the territories not being able to vote, but us having jurisdiction over them and taking money from them, I think that's insane. I think that's insane. Them not having true representation, they should at least have a representative in the House of Representatives. One. They should at least have one. One. And I'm talking about a real one. Not like, oh, this guy that's in this committee that kind of represents y'all's issues or whatever, and he's like trying to get other people in states behind what y'all got going on when they don't really even care. Like, nah, I'm talking about a real seat at the table, a real one representative. They should be able to get that. Period. Dot. Yeah. I'm glad I cleaned that up. I'm glad I cleaned it up, because that sounds stupid at first.
A slave class in this country. Period. Point blank. They want to change the laws so that they can oppress us legally, and there is nothing we can do about it for generations, because the Supreme Court they have now will uphold these laws. They want minorities and women in America to be suckers and slaves in order to make Trump and whomever he and his cronies deem worthy more wealthy. Now, Project 2025 is a real life guide to becoming Gilead from The Handmaid's Tale, and this is not an exaggeration.
Gilead from The Handmaid's Tale, you might not know it. It is a true example of basically you become a king. That's literally what it is. You become a king and a kingmaker. The system will be designed and set up to where you will literally, it kind of be like how Russia is run, right? You know what I'm saying? How Putin somehow magically keeps winning these elections, or when you think about China and how their leader just keeps winning these elections, even with public dissent. You know what I'm saying? Abound. When you think about Brazil and the things that happened there, you know what I'm saying? That was almost a coup. You know what I'm saying? That happened, but the people really band together and got him up out of there. You know what I'm saying? The things that are going on in Venezuela right now, another prime example. You know what I'm saying? It happens in African countries too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not as well versed on that, so I'm not going to speak on it, but it happens over there too. I really feel like it literally sets up a dictator. Like it's Project 2025 is so bad. It is so bad. It rolls back so much stuff that our people have fought and died for. You know what I'm saying? People forget people died for like civil rights. People died. There are still people alive that were born and did not have civil rights. They didn't have civil rights. They didn't have civil. Not a thing. Not a thing. That means if you were black, you know what I'm saying? Very much so. If you were black, you know what I'm saying? Also Asians and Hispanics, but more so black. They were really on our ass. They try their best to subjugate you and make sure you stay subjugated. That's how you had Jim Crow and all of that. It was bad. It was really, really bad. And that's what they want to do. They just want to roll us back. Brown versus the Board of Education. Fuck them poor. And it's really classism. Like, people don't understand. Because it's good example, really good example here. Okay, y'all remember the Harvard Law student, right? Harvard Law student, the Asian kid, right? He was he and his family sued Harvard because they were like, oh, the discrimination, you guys are using race to kind of like keep more Asian people from being in, you know what I'm saying? There should be more of us, you know? You guys are giving our seats away to these other people, right? And mainly they were concerned about like African Americans still having higher numbers and all this other stuff, right? The laws changed now, right? They can't use race as part of it. Do you know they had the biggest drop off in enrollment of any minority group? At some universities, African American enrollment actually went up. That means you, sir, needed affirmative action. That's crazy. That's crazy. And now they're crying and complaining about it and talk about they trying to sue the school again. I'm like, sue the school again for what? You did it to yourself. Y'all did it to your fucking self. Eat your own shit.
In order to make Trump and whomever he and his cronies deem worthy more wealthy. Now, Project 2025 is a real-life guide to becoming Gilead from The Handmaid's Tale. And this is not an exaggeration. If you have not looked up what Project 2025 plans to do to anybody who is not a white, heteronormative, Christo-fascist male in this country, you better get your
That's crazy.
Google and read it. For those of you who fell asleep in civics class all the time, 2/3 of Congress can override anything a president wants to do.
Facts.
With the number of MAGA Republicans in Congress, there will never be an override if they get back in power. Y'all only show up every 4 years to vote for the president,
and that's
refuse to show up every 2 years in the midterms.
So look, here's the thing, right? People know that y'all don't show up in the midterms. So that's when your local policies change that end up effing you. That's when the state policies get pushed that end up effing you. They end up having special elections and all this stuff. And I really want there to be like a actual law that forces there to be an actual like real notification, acknowledgement of notification of there's an election on this day. Reply yes. I want it to be an automated text. Just a text. Just a text that you have to acknowledge that you understand that there's an election on this particular day. I want it to go out the day before too. Like a month out, a week out, and then the day before, and then the day of. 4 texts. Matter of fact, 6 months out, a month out, a week out, the day before, and then the day of. Hey, there's an election going on. I feel like they should have to notify you in some way, and you have to acknowledge it because you are literally getting screwed. And then this is when they throw those House of Representative candidates and all this stuff in there that end up getting in the House and end up effing up all the agenda that a president tries to do. Every time, and we never really show up the way we're supposed to. Show up. And then I see a lot of there's a lot of black people that's like, oh, well, there's no point in us voting because blah, blah, blah. Like, look, you got to play the fucking game. That's one. 2, there are enough black people that on an off cycle, you could get the representative you wanted. If all the black people decided, yo, this is what we want to do, this is the agenda we want to push, this is our guy, cool. Everybody showed up and voted for him, you'd have him. There's not enough votes in the election. Period. There's never enough. There's never enough. Never. And I'm saying, when I say election, I'm saying midterm elections. The primary elections are a bit weirder, and sometimes people don't even vote on a lot of the stuff down the ballot, and they don't take the time to vote on the initiatives correctly. Like, y'all just keep screwing yourselves. So I want that to be clear. Get up and vote.
Y'all only show up every 4 years to vote for the president, and you refuse to show up every 2 years in the midterms to give the president the powers they need to pass legislation they had on their platform.
Facts.
Stop bad presidents from.
Bro, listen. We would have gotten student loan forgiveness if you fuckers would have showed up to vote. Dead serious. If you would have showed up to vote, we wouldn't have this problem. We'd be good.
Implementing harmful legislation. Since Bill Clinton's second term, we have had hyper-partisan nonsense going on in our Congress.
Facts.
And there are a lot of reasons why that was going on, but it was mostly because Bill Clinton started fixing the mess of Reaganomics. When Bill Clinton was in office, America was in a surplus. Every time we put Republicans in power in our government, we are at a financial deficit, and they look to all the poor people to make up the deficit. That's why inflation and.
Yes. So look, you can literally look it up. People hate math, but the math is there. The math is there every time. Look at GDP. Okay, look at GDP. Look at the stock market. Look at the housing market. Look at everything. And when you look at it for 4 to 8 year chunks under each president. Just look at the president's term. So if he was 4 years or 8 years, whatever it is, look it up. It's plain to see that the Democrats are better for everybody making money. It is. It's just straight up way better. Okay, the reason why Trump's term felt good is because Obama's policies were still going. When you look up Trump's like the actual like bills and different things Congress did during that particular time, it wasn't much during his presidency. Most of the stuff was repealing and removing stuff that Obama did. He was just rolling stuff back left and right, rolling stuff back, rolling it back, rolling it back, rolling it back. Why would you want to go backwards when we just had some of the best 8 years we didn't had ever? Everybody was up. Excuse me. And then people were able to get more up, but a lot of ignorant people that I see often, and way too often, to be honest, started to. Okay, something got in my eye. I don't remember what I was saying. Let's keep going.
A financial deficit, and they look to all the poor people to make up the deficit. That's why inflation and taxes and cost so much, while these companies are making record profits.
Right.
Okay? And too many minorities were benefiting during the 90s. That's why they had it out for Bill Clinton, and that's why they tried to impeach him over that nonsense that happened with him and Monica Lewinsky. It is not a coincidence that.
Look, I'm gonna say this: if the president wants to get his dick sucked in the Oval or anywhere in the White House, Air Force One, you know what I'm saying, wanna crash out on a few floozies, you know what I'm saying? You wanna get busy. I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him at all. I'm not mad at him. I ain't even mad at that. That's if Kamala got into office and had a side dude, I wouldn't even be mad, bro. I wouldn't even be mad. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Did you do your job? Who you have sex with ain't got nothing to do with me. Again, if she wanted to have a side girl, it ain't got nothing to do with me. Are you doing your job correctly? We have allowed Congress to get away with not doing their job. They have passed less bills. Excuse me. The longer, like since I've been born, since 1991, that's when I was born. They have passed historically less bills year over year over year over year over year. It's insane, bro. It is insane. It has constantly gone down. I want to say since about 2000, the number of bills getting passed have been steadily decreasing. Steadily decreasing. We need to either fire them or make better rules. Straight up. And I think we can start with if you don't pass a budget, you're not getting paid. We're not paying them if they ain't passing no budget. I think that should be off rip. That should be the first thing done. Because they ain't even fixed last year. Like, how do we go a year without a butt? Did they ever? I think they finally did actually fix last year. But that's crazy. Like, how do we go a whole fiscal year? No budget. What are we doing?
One of the architects of getting Clinton impeached back then is our present sitting Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh.
Facts.
Since 1973, they have been trying to get women back under control because that is when women started receiving the legal right to do things on their own. To have a let
me tell you what it really is. Let me tell you what it really is. I'm gonna stop her. And this ain't no conspiracy theory. This is just straight up facts. Okay. The birth rate of some groups are heading into a decline and they don't like seeing it. Okay. There's too much mixing and mingling. Okay. Because look, here's the truth. Okay. Everything is gonna end up being some shade of brown. At some point, it's gonna be some shade of brown. That's the truth. That's the truth. That is the straight up truth. We are not in America, we are the minority. In the world, we are the majority. I'm gonna say that again. In America, we are the minority. In the world, we are the majority. It really boils down simple as that. It's just it's birth rate. It's people having kids. They're concerned. Okay? Because we don't technically have enough people that are able-bodied and able to work to replace all the people that are dying. Okay? It's going to get really crazy. But you know what's also crazy is we'll probably be in a better place as a society from it. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It has to happen. It has to happen. Because a lot of these old heads are holding old resentment and old ways that are not helping our society evolve and grow. Congress needs to have a top age of like 65. 65. Or like let's say the top age you can run for Congress is like 62. And then after you're in, you can do 2 terms and then you're out. 62 tops. We don't need all these people sucking up all the freaking health care benefits and all that. Like it feels like an old person's retirement fund. Like Congress is almost a nursing home at this point. It's not good. That's not good. We need to do better.
On your own, to have a credit card on your own, to purchase a home on your own. We could not do that before 1973.
Which is correct.
And then lots of the provisions in the Civil Rights Act that allowed minorities to vote have expired, and they do not want to renew them. That is why they had to present the John Lewis Voting Act, because the original Voting Act has expired. These people do not want women or minorities to have rights in this country. They want the government they originally had with.
Hold on. The Civil Rights Act expired? Hold on. Okay, so I'm on the AOCLU.org. I mean, they're just okay. So they're telling us what expires here. I did not know portions of this expired. All right, so listen. Let's see what this is. So what expired? So Section 4, the coverage formula. Contains a formula defining jurisdictions subjected to or covered by special remedial provisions of the Act. The special provisions are discussed below. Jurisdictions are covered if they used a test or device for voting and less than half of the voting age residents were registered or voted in 1964, 1968, or 1972 presidential elections. Coverage is not determined by the Attorney General is determined by the Attorney General and the Director of Census and is not judicially reviewable. Coverage and with the application of the special provision is set to expire in 2007. Okay, that just expired. This also expired in 2007. Obama became president in 2009. That's why they were panicking so bad. We're actually lucky we even got him when we got him. The pre-clearance. Let's see what else. What is this about? I don't even know what some of this means. I'm not even gonna pretend. Um, this jurisdiction has the burden of proving that a proposed change does not have the purpose or would not have the effect of denying or abridging the right to vote on account of race, color, or membership in a language minority. Jurisdictions covered by Section 5 are Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, California, five counties. Florida, 5 counties. Georgia, Louisiana, Michigan, 2 towns. Mississippi, New Hampshire, 10 towns. New York, 3 counties. North Carolina, 40 counties. Oh my God, they were super racist. South Carolina as a whole, damn. Mississippi as a whole, South Carolina as a whole, Alabama, Alaska, and Arizona as a whole. Jesus Christ. South Dakota, 2 counties, Texas as a whole, Virginia as a whole. U.S. Justice Department, Section 5, covered under jurisdictions. Section 5 will expire in August of 2027. Federal examiners for poll and poll watchers. The Attorney General can decide. Oh God, those provisions expired in 2007. Bilingual voting materials. Oh man, they don't even have to provide them anymore. They don't have to. It expired in 2007. Oh God. Okay, the rest of the stuff is covered. Presidential elections are still covered. Uh pocket which requires a court that which has found a violation of the voting rights protected by the 14th or 15th Amendment as part of any equitable relief to a jurisdiction require a jurisdiction for an appropriate period of time to pre-clear its proposed new voting practices or procedures, the pre-clearance, blah 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 blah. Okay, so that means they can't pass another one without, like, once the court fixes and remedies their issue, they can't make another one till they get pre-cleared. Civil and criminal penalties. It authorized the imposition of civil and criminal sanctions on those who interfere with the right to vote, fail to comply with the act, or commit voter fraud. These provisions are permanent and nationwide. Court appointed federal examiners. The federal examiner provision is nationwide and permanent, although it's rarely, if ever, used today. In any action, it is what it is. In any action, the voter guarantees the vote to enforce the voting guarantees of the 14th and 15th Amendment. Court may pursuant to blah blah blah. Okay, they can basically hire people to look in there. Voters assessments. This is for people with disabilities. Uh, and Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act prohibits the use of any voting procedure or practice that results in the denial or abridgment of the right to vote on account of race or color or membership in a language minority. All right. All right. Well, interesting. Interesting. She's right there. Damn, man. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot from this video. Yeah, let's get back into it. Let me take her back just a little bit.
To renew them. That's why they had to present the John Lewis Voting Act.
Yeah.
The original Voting Act have expired. These people.
So again, it's not the whole Voting Act. Certain provisions, as we just so outlined, have indeed expired. Okay.
Want women or minorities to have rights in this country. They want the government they originally had with white land-owning men, and they want to do it legally.
I mean, that's pretty much facts.
Ask yourself why Rick Santorum's crazy has been trying to force a constitutional convention in this country since damn near Obama's first term, because they do not want.
Okay, a constitutional convention. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's look that. All right, y'all. So listen, constitutional convention. It was decided that the best so a convention of it's a convention of delegates from all states well, this is what it basically is from all states. Ignore this thing about Rhode Island because they're telling you about the original one. It was known as it's a meeting where it's decided the best solution for a country and the Articles of Convention. The main idea of the Constitution to address the problems of a weak central government that existed under the Articles of Confederation. But an actual a constitutional convention is basically you get all the representatives, okay, and Congress together. Let me enlarge myself back now. You get everybody together. Sorry, I can't like put like a good definition on the screen. I went and read. So the basic thing of it is, right, you're basically like he almost wants to redo the Constitution over, which in some ways could be good for America. But it could be bad because here's the thing. We've amended the Constitution several times to then fix certain issues, right? Because we wanted to protect it. If you get rid of that, that means you would have to put that amendment back into the original draft again. But I think what they want to do is take all this race out, all this women protection out, like all these very specific things. So then they can just have these general Americanized terms, and then they can like go into like actual like full blown like discrimination against people or like disenfranchisement of like I was saying earlier at the really beginning. It really boils down to class. Okay, they do race as the bait and switch and the distraction because it's easier to look at. Like you can look at me and easily determine I'm black. You know what I'm saying? So race is easy to look at. It's easy to address. However, what's not so easy is trying to figure out who's actually broke and who's actually struggling and who's actually going through this, that, and the third, because nobody wants to own up to that. Nobody wants to admit that type of stuff. All right? Because and to be clear here, they want you to lose rights. Straight up. They want you to lose rights. Even heterosexual white males would lose rights if they do this. You lose rights you didn't even know you had.
So while Rick Santorum's crazy has been trying to force a constitutional convention in this country since damn near Obama's first term, because they do not want black people, brown people, Asian people, indigenous people, LGBTQIA people. They do not want us in power in this country, y'all. If we elect Kamala Harris as president, she can't do nothing if we don't give her the House and the Senate she needs to get it done. That's what we say, vote down the ballot.
Right. Hold on. Now, this is where I disagree with her, okay? If you know the particular Democrat is an ass, like what's the dude that was holding up? He was holding up military funding, military promotions. He was also holding up like he was holding up like a lot of things, like, you know what I'm saying? Like what is it like? Biden was really trying to work with this dude, Joe Manchin. There it is. Because I know his name, Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin was fucking us hard, and he's a Democrat. That's the one time where I'd rather just had a Republican. To be honest. Because then you ain't even got to worry about Joe Manchin. Matter of fact, you could just not deal with Joe Manchin at all and get a different Democrat. But no, we weren't able to do that. You know what I'm saying? We just had to keep dealing with him.
GOP. She needs it in 2024. She needs it in 2026. She's going to need it in 2028. She's going to need it in 2030. You have to keep coming back and voting in the midterm, okay? But if Trump gets in there, he has enough cult members in Congress to get the rules changed and our rights are done. We will be living in Russia Jr. for the next few generations. Not the next few years, the next few generations.
Facts.
I need y'all to remember that Jim Crow laws had to be overturned by the Supreme Court. These did not just start acting right because they had some kind of epiphany about bigotry.
Also, these people are still alive. Let's not get this twisted. These people are still alive. People that literally hung people from trees are still alive. Hey, they're still alive. Still alive. There's still people that seen it. Think about that. 64 is when the Rights Act was passed. 64. Right? And let's just say, to be old enough to remember it, let's just say you had to be born in 59, or you have to be 59 or older. 1959 or older when you were born. That only makes you like, because we're in 2024. That only makes you just over what, 60? Yeah, just over 60. So anybody over 60 years old? Over 60. So you need anybody from, let's just say, 65 and older. There's plenty of them. There's plenty of them 65 and older. There's plenty of them. They know a totally different America. Totally different America. And and any of your grandparents, or if you still have your great grandparents, you're doing them a disservice by not voting, by not getting involved. And I know people hate to say that and such a thing. That's because we've lost our sense of fucking community. Nobody cares about each other anymore. It's bigger than just you. This is not just about you. This is about your children as well. And when they did what they did, so we could get some semblance of rights, some semblance of decency, it was for us. They weren't thinking about themselves. They weren't going to be living long enough to really like benefit from the fruits of the labor. They weren't. Most of them are dead from back then. A lot are dead. And soon, when I turn 50, most of them will be gone. I'm 33, so 17 more years, most of them are ghosts. They're either in the cemetery, the morgue, or wherever. Like, come on. Come on. Let's do better.
Laws change, and then they enforce the laws. That is why they're trying to change them back. You really got to start focusing on the right things, bro. So all you impressionable people out there who listen to celebrities just because they have money, or listen to Jermaine Dupri.
Listen, do not get your world advice, all of it, from a celebrity. Do not like morally align yourself based off of celebrities' morals. Most of them are lost in the sauce. Most of them are lost in the sauce. Just because they're rich and famous does not mean they're educated on the issues. Find you a real expert, and go talk to them. Straight up. They're nearby. When's the last time y'all been to a city council meeting? When's the last time you went? There's a lot of things there. There's a lot of free money there. There's a lot of stuff being thrown around. And all you have to do is just show up. It's public. It's public. People don't show up. They know nobody's gonna show up. They say whatever they want to in the meetings. Literally whatever.
Because he's famous and made some good bucks. Do not who cheated on Janet Jackson influence you to make a bad decision for your life too. We can actually crush the Republican Party this year because they are broke as a joke. Okay, we can crush them and keep working to shape our government the way we want it to look if we participate. This is a slow process, y'all, but you have to participate every year and not just pop out every 4 years talking.
Yeah, when you're talking about institutionalized organizations that are structured against you, whether race wise or class wise, it's this organization has power. Nobody wants to give up power. You have to slowly peel back the layers of power. You slowly have to. I completely agree with her. Completely agree.
And being a contrarian. Information. Please learn how the system works and participate in your government every election. These people are our employees, y'all. It is up to us.
Facts.
To hire the people who make the laws that run our lives, and that is what voting is. The hiring process is a zero-sum group project. If you don't show up, the other team is winning. If you vote for a third party that cannot win, the other team is still gaining votes and winning. The only way for you to win is to vote
See, and I know a lot of people like, oh, well, I voted for third party and I voted my conscience or whatever. Them people ain't got no swag, no charisma, no nothing. I don't even know how y'all get gassed into believing in them. Jill Stein is like an utter failure. Her party is ass. The Green Party has been nothing but losers. They don't run at local levels. That's all they have to do is just build momentum. They get a. Trust me, if they started at the mayor, the House of Representatives, the governor, like they start building that momentum, boom, now they're in the House of Representatives, and now they're also, boom, on the other side of things. They're in the White House. They get it so easily. So easily. Libertarians, they could do the same damn thing, but they're not trying. They're not really trying. Neither of those parties are really trying. You have to build into it. Nobody wants to play the long game. Everybody wants a short-term fix to a long-term problem. It doesn't work that way, okay? It doesn't work that way. It's like trying to lose weight and it's like, oh, I'm just going to lose. No, you can't think it. You can't think it. You actually have to go to the gym. You have to stop eating like bad. It's work. It's actual work.
Who are trying to hurt you. If you do not vote against the incompetent candidate, which is basically the majority of the GOP, America is, and so is your freedom. Real talk. So all this nonsense y'all going on and on about, you need to stop it. You need to learn how our system works, and you need to vote and fire the entire GOP.
Hey, the fact she got that trademarked, I love that for her. Boho TM, hey, Boho TM. So she got it trademarked. That's amazing. That's dope, man. Hey, y'all make sure y'all tap in with her, man. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with her. I'm gonna link her her TikTok in the comments. If I find her YouTube channel, I'm gonna link that too. Because I think that's important for y'all to get that information. Hopefully, ma'am, you don't try and take down my video. Hope to God not. This was just a reaction to me giving my 2 cents. Yeah, I'm up out of here, man. Y'all stay blessed, and I'm gonna continue on my self-improvement.